Good morning, yogis. Welcome back to Wasatch Adaptive Sports yoga class. Today we are going to try a little bit of restorative yoga. Restorative yoga is really great when you are feeling fatigued, when you need extra support, when you're feeling really stressed out inside, or maybe there's a lot going on outside. Restorative yoga invites us to sink inward, still ourselves, and allow some passive opening in the body. So if you can get down on the floor, we'll stay on the floor. If you need assistance getting on the floor, make sure you have the appropriate safety. And if you don't want to get on the floor, that's okay too. You could do this on your bed or on the couch, so don't feel like you have to come all the way down to the floor. Decide what you would like to do. Some of the props that I'll be using today will be a blanket, and this blanket I've just rolled up about this height. This is about 6 inches. You decide how high you want to make it. We'll use this blanket a couple of ways. A pillow for your head. And I've got a bolster here. But again, you could simply use a stack of pillows or a rolled sleeping bag or some folded blankets. Just whatever you have on hand is great. I'll also be using a block. And you could use a stack of pillows instead of the block today. We will use a chair if you have a chair handy. If not, that's also okay. We're going to use the chair to prop our legs on. So you can use anything that would work for you. I've even used a high stack of pillows if you have a small bench. Just in some way while you're lying down, you can put your legs up. And then I'll also be using the strap. And you guys know by now, you could use a tie, you could use a robe belt, you could use a pair of nylons. Really anything with some length is great for a strap. Okay, yogis, let's get started. We'll begin in mountain brook pose. Now, in a restorative pose, we spend a lot more time then. It's not as fast paced. We'll spend a couple of minutes or more in each pose. So it will take a little longer to set each pose up, but then you get to stay in it and enjoy it. Mountain Brook pose is a passive heart opener. So we're often rounding and we often spend time being crunched down from sitting. This will help to open those areas in a really safe and supported way. The bolster or your stack of pillows or whatever you're using will be placed under your knees. The rolled blanket will give you the lift in your heart and a pillow for your head for some extra support. So let's come on to our backs. Now, you'll probably take a couple of times to experiment the best placement for your rolled blanket. You want it just underneath the sternum, right where you would want the apex of a curve to point up. Your shoulders will drape off the blanket. Arms can be out wide or they can rest in. And adjust the pillow to your liking. Take a deep breath in, a full exhale out. And let your body completely surrender to the props. Feel a sensation of heaviness descend in your legs, your feet. Feel the bend at the knees. Feel that lift in the chest, but relax into it. Let your shoulders be heavy and fall down towards the floor. Notice if you're carrying tension in your jaw or in your face. See if you can soften the lines just a little bit. Let that softness start to take over. Keep allowing this nice free flow of breath. If you feel uncomfortable, that can be normal. Heart openers are very vulnerable. If there's any pain, definitely change something. You might need to adjust the height of the blanket under your chest, or maybe bring more bend into the knees. Can you release a little deeper? Find a centering breath to help you drop down further. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. Let the neck relax. We'll drop into a place of complete silence for the next minute. Take a deep breath in, a little more active. Sigh it out. So lovely. We'll slowly make our way out of this pose. Start by bending up the knees. You might push that stack of pillows or bolster away. And then we'll roll to one side. Use your top hand to gently press yourself up. And move your blanket off to the side. Let's grab either that small stack of pillows or your block. Have that handy. And we'll have our strap handy. Come back to a lying down position. Bring your head to a pillow. This helps to prevent chin thrust. So notice when you're lying down if your chin is jutting upward, and give yourself enough bolstered support under your head so that you have a really long back of the neck. All right, let's pull one knee in. And start with your right knee. Hug it into your chest and release. Hug the left knee in. Pull it close to your torso and release. Let's pull both knees in, hands to your shins, gently pull those knees to your thigh. You might rock back and forth just a little bit, just enough to massage out the low back, the back of the pelvis, the sacrum. It should feel nice. And now we're going to take it for a walk. So we're going to press our left knee away and our right knee towards us. Then bend that left elbow, bring the left knee in, straighten the right arm, press the right knee away. So we're going to go side to side, pedaling out the knees, using the hands to guide the motion. And you can go really slow or fast. You might notice the stretch you feel on the back of the body each time you move. You might enjoy the sensation of rhythm that your legs are making. Keep breathing. Good. Pull both knees in, and 1 foot at a time, gently release to the floor. All right, let's find our blocks. Again, a blanket or a pillow would work as well. We're just going to place this underneath the hips for a supported bridge pose. On your inhale, press into your feet to lift your hips enough to slide your block, your blanket, your pillow underneath the back of the pelvis where those bony plates are. Avoid your low back here and let your arms rest. Let your pelvis completely sink down onto your props. Find your breath. Let the shoulders relax down into the floor. Let the head feel heavy on its pillow. Feel the feet firmly planted. This is a little bit of an inversion, getting the hips above the heart. It feels really nice on all the internal organs in the abdomen. Just letting them release their holding on, their gripping. You might feel a little bit of lengthening and stretching on the front of the hip muscles. This pose is one where you can really play around with the height of whatever you've got under your hips. You can keep it super gentle and just do a little lift, or you can take your lift higher and higher. You could even change the height of your block. This makes it a little bit more of a back bend, a little less restorative, but still allows for some passive opening in the body. I'm going to bring my block back to the lowest setting. So just to give you an idea of how you can modify the height of your hips to create different sensations and different intensities of opening in your body. As your breath flows easily in and out of the body, close down the eyes. Sense the space inside of you. Sense where you feel expansion, spaciousness. And let's find that place of stillness for about 1 more minute. Big active inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. To release from this pose, gently press into the feet or get assistance, lifting the hips. Slide your prop out from underneath and slowly lower one vertebrae at a time back to the mat, back to the floor. Pull your right knee in and then your left, knees to chest. This time let's take circles. Imagine like you're holding a pencil between your knees and take small circles. Just draw the circle, massaging all around the sacrum, the back of the pelvis again, letting there be a release in the low back. Circle the opposite direction. You might even start to take bigger circles if that feels good. Nice, 1 foot at a time. Release back to the floor. Get your strap handy. And we'll start with our right leg. So we're going to pull our right knee back into our chest. Can you reach the ball of the right foot? Just check that out. Just see if you can. Bring the strap around the ball of the foot. You can always get assistance if you need. And we're going to start to straighten the leg up towards the sky. Allow enough slack on the strap. Make sure it's long enough so that you can get a straight leg. And make sure the strap is on the ball of the foot, not low down, so that you can gently dorsiflex your foot, which means flex your toes toward your body. Now keep your left knee bent for support. Find your breath. Soften your shoulders. You can start to explore bringing your leg a little closer. Now, for some of us, our leg might be pretty low down. That's okay. The goal isn't to get the leg as close to your torso as possible, regardless of how you get there. The goal is to let the hamstring lengthen enough so that the mobility in the back of the leg lets you bring the leg closer. So notice if you try to bring your leg closer, if you tuck your tail up to get it closer, press your tailbone back down. We're moving the leg relative to the pelvis here. This is one of my favorite hamstring stretches because it keeps the spine so safe and supported. You don't have to worry about any rounding in the back because your spine is completely supported. And you might even feel this stretch all the way down the calf muscle. You might feel the stretch at the back of the ankle. Good. If you want, you can see how it feels to straighten your left leg. If that's not happening, that's okay. Just notice how it feels. Flex that foot and keep your right hip anchored to the floor while you slide your leg over to the left. Just a tiny micro movement. We'll feel some stretching on the outer hip muscle, the outer leg muscle, those lateral muscles. But we got to keep that right hip anchored. So just let it be a small movement. If you like, once you get over to the left, you can bring your leg a little closer to the torso. Make sure you're breathing and you're softening. Nice. Slowly bring that leg back to center. Bend your knee. Release. Bring both knees to a bent position. Take your feet wide, more than a foot, like wider than your hips. Slowly drop your knees to the right and back up to center. Drop your knees to the left and back up to center. You don't have to drop them very far, but see how it feels to allow a windshield wiper action. See if you can find some rhythm with your legs here. Good. Last one. Knees to the left. Lift them back to center. Walk your feet so they're hip distance again. And let's move to the left side. Start by bending your left knee in. See if you can reach towards the ball of your foot, how far your fingers are away. Just to measure, just to see. And then with assistance if needed or on your own, we'll bring the strap around the ball of the foot and find your straight leg. Allow the leg to move as far away from the body as it needs to become straight. Let the shoulders relax. Let there be enough slack on the strap. Let the tailbone press down into the floor. Again, the goal isn't to get the leg as close to the torso as possible, but rather to find maximum length in the hamstrings. So you can start to pull your leg closer to the torso, making sure to keep the shoulders relaxed, that you're not tucking your tail up or bending the knee. So just find your place. Let the breath flow freely. Maybe a little tug, flex the foot a little deeper, feel more stretch towards the calf, the back of the ankle. And then we'll see how it feels to straighten that right leg. If the knee needs to stay bent, that's totally fine. But just play around with straightening that leg. Maybe you feel a stretch on the top of the hip muscles here. Anchor and bolt that left hip to the ground. Just the leg moves very slowly over to the right. Let the thighs slide across the lower abdomen until you feel a stretch in the lateral hip and leg muscles. Lateral means the outside. So this is a really small movement and it's not a twist. If you like, you can bring your leg closer. See how that feels. Nice. Gently release. Bend that left knee in. Take the strap, set it aside. Bring both knees up. Hug them into the chest again. You can rock side to side, maybe circle the opposite way. A little happy baby. Bring your feet, the soles of the feet to face towards the ceiling, knees bent, hands on the outside of your thighs on the back. And you can gently press your hands into your thighs, press your tailbone down into the floor, and be in this little supine squat position. Should feel nice for the low back. Good, release. The left foot and then the right. Nice. Let's get into our final position. Now, I'm going to take my blanket and I'll drape it on the chair. I'm going to bring the chair in. So in this position, you'll want somebody to help you, or if you don't have a chair, you'll think about bringing your calves onto a stack of pillows or something like that. I'll just show you how I'm going to get into it, but know that you may need someone assisting you. Now, you can choose to put pillows underneath your pelvis if you like, or you can just lay flat. So I'm going to just lay flat. Come onto your back, pillow under your head, maybe a blanket or pillows under your hips, and then I'm going to thread my legs through the back of the chair. So the type of chair that you have will determine how well this works for you. But this is inverted sitting, and it feels so good to let the whole torso release, the chest expand, to feel that energy and relaxation in the spine instead of that constant crunching down in a chair. Go ahead and make any adjustments you need to feel supremely comfortable, to really let go of tensions, to find that softness, to let your body release what it needs to, especially fatigue in the feet, the ankles, the legs, the hips, and the spine. Melt down. Shut down the eyes if you haven't already. Feel the sensation of breathing. Feel the sensation of relaxing. And this position is a great one to stay in for about 5 minutes. So we're going to drop into that rest, that place of silence, that deep well of relaxation that's inside all of us. Take a big deep breath in. Your first conscious breath. Start to wiggle your toes, your fingers, stir the body. Maybe reach the arms overhead, like you're waking up in the morning. Transition slowly from stillness to movement. Pull one knee in and then the other. Maybe enjoy knees to chest for a breath or two. Gently roll to your favorite side. It might feel good to pause there, just in this nice, cozy, comfortable position. As you feel ready, press yourself up. Come into seated. If you need to get up immediately to a chair, that's fine. If you want to have someone come help you get back up, that's also fine. But take a moment and feel that hum of energy in your body, that hum of relaxation. Draw your hands to your heart and acknowledge yourself for giving yourself the time to slow down and be still. Thank you so much for joining me for Restorative Adaptive Yoga today. Namaste.